Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, several areas of our region remain under a winter storm warning. Some parts could see upwards of 60 centimeters of snow. Plus, North Bay City Council votes to move forward on the mayor expense issue.
The debt has been repaid, penalties been issued, and the Integrity Commissioner has completed his work.
It comes as they vote decisively against an external review. And a frustrating anniversary for residents in one Sudbury apartment building.
I cry every single day. There's nothing to look forward to.
They've been living on Lord Street for the last year without a lift.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Old Man Winter has arrived and he's coming in with a bang. Several parts of our region are under a winter storm warning right now. Rick has the latest out of the Weather Center. Rick?
Well, Ian, Environment Canada is calling it a winter storm warning now. Last night we thought maybe 45 centimeters. Tonight they've upped the ante, 30 to 60 centimeters in places like Timmins, Cochrane, Iroquois Falls, and even Wawa. So again, we'll keep a close eye on that. In Timmins alone overnight, 2 to 4 centimeters. Then tomorrow, snow at times heavy, about 15 to 20 centimeters, another 15 by tomorrow evening. So we'll take a look at the numbers in our 7-day forecast and a lot more coming up in just a couple of minutes. Back to you on the desk.
Thanks, Rick. He'll be back a little later in the newscast with your full weather forecast. Well, a pedestrian was killed in a collision yesterday afternoon in Kapuskasing. Provincial police say the incident closed Riverside Drive and McPherson Avenue for 10 hours. The collision involved a 78-year-old pedestrian and a pickup truck. The senior was rushed to hospital with serious life-threatening injuries and later died. Meanwhile, in Blind River, OPP have charged a man after a fatal collision on Highway 17 between a commercial vehicle and a pedestrian. It happened yesterday around 5 p.m. on Cosley Street. The cyclist was pronounced dead at the scene while the commercial vehicle failed to stop. Police found the driver, a 68-year-old man from Plummer Additional Township in Algoma Mills, a short time later where he was arrested and his vehicle was towed. A man has been charged after the heavy police presence on Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie yesterday. Police received a report of gunfire in the 400 block of Pym Street just before 10 a.m. While the report was unfounded, police did investigate, finding brass knuckles and a small amount of fentanyl. A 36-year-old man faces several charges. North Bay police seized $58,000 in cash and drugs in a trafficking investigation. A 43-year-old North Bay man faces 11 drug trafficking and weapons-related charges. After that investigation, a search warrant was executed on Fisher Street last week after the man's arrest, where police seized a 12-gauge shotgun, more than $13,000 in cash, and $45,000 in cocaine, fentanyl, and oxycodone. Sault Ste. Marie police recently took part in an initiative about safety in the downtown. Police and bylaw officers conducted an integrated municipal enforcement team, or IMET, operation. Officers were on hand for security measures as bylaw officials ensured the buildings had proper locks and sealed windows. 40 vacant properties with prior bylaw violations were inspected, with 5 of the boarded up properties needing to be resecured to prevent unlawful entry.
Our members did have to go into a couple of the residents to ensure that nobody was inside, to make sure bylaw could do what they needed to do. Nobody was located, nobody was displaced during this initiative. Again, it's really just to make sure that vacant properties are secured or they are adhering to previous bylaw conditions that our local bylaw officers.
We've seen that in the past. People living in boarded up buildings oftentimes creates a risk to that property, to the people living in there, and to the neighboring properties. So good to see that bylaw and police are working together to make sure that boarded up buildings remain inaccessible and remain vacant.
The integrated municipal enforcement team was established in 2020 and has done a number of the operations, with this being one of the largest to date. Well, new tonight, a motion at North Bay City Council calling for an independent third-party external review into the actions taken by all parties surrounding the mayor's expenses has been defeated. Moved by Councillor Vrabrosh, this was about the process and how City Hall dealt with the matter. Other councillors, however, disagreed, preferring to leave this in the hands of the Integrity Commissioner. The motion was defeated 8-2, with some around the table saying they are ready to turn the page, others saying they couldn't justify a costly review after already spending more than $23,000 on the matter.
Who authorized what? Who approved which expenses? Who knew what and when? I question how continuing to revisit this will benefit the City of North Bay. The debt has been repaid, penalties been issued, and the Integrity Commissioner has completed his work.
I will tell the citizens of North Bay, this is literally the last thing that I can do along with Councillor Lowry to say that we've done all we can to get council to look at this in a serious light.
Mayor Jericho has publicly said he would not be stepping down and will be continuing his efforts involving economic development and getting new flights to come into the Gateway City. Now to the latest facing the Near North District School Board. Parry Sound Town officials say they want out. It comes after months of complaints and concerns over mismanagement. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
That's carried.
Parry Sound Council is sending a message to Education Minister Paul Calandra. It wants out of the beleaguered Near North District School Board.
I would have to go back to almost day one. The province decided to put Parry Sound District in with the North Bay area. Pretty much we felt like the child under the staircase.
Council would like Calandra to reinstate the former West Parry Sound District School Board as a first option, giving the region a more local representation. The second option would be to join another school board like Simcoe's or Muskoka's.
We don't feel we're being listened to. We contribute a lot of money through taxation into that school board. Between residential, commercial, and industrial, it's over $20 million.
A scorching ministry review found a fractured relationship between school board administration and trustees, an absence of leadership from Director of Education Craig Miles, and the actions of some trustees contributed to long delays in building the new mega school in Parry Sound.
This has just come to a head, and I don't think you could find a person right now that is anywhere near happy.
Among the binding recommendations in the review was for the board to meet with the community in person to discuss the delayed construction within 10 days. The board scheduled that meeting, but then canceled, holding its own reorganizational meeting, resulting in a failure to comply. That, compounded with the passing of Bill 33 last week, have Parry Sound Muskoka MPP Graydon Smith and Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli calling on Calandra to take action by appointing a supervisor to take charge. Its continued inability to follow directives from the Ministry of Education, along with its lack of effort to address the legitimate concerns of parents and students in Parry Sound, is deeply troubling. Newly elected board chair Jay Aspin responded in a brief statement, saying, "Our board is keenly focused on implementing Minister Calandra's binding directions and are now completing arrangements to present an in-person update to the Parry Sound Council next week." McGarvey is eagerly awaiting that meeting and hopes the board will be all ears.
We are serious. We need to be listened to.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
And that public meeting has now been set for December 4th at 7 o'clock at Parry Sound Council Chambers. At Queen's Park, the Ford government was focused on its newest legislation today, tabling the Justice Bill. It includes tougher penalties for dangerous drivers, tighter bail rules, and a plan to make some information from the province's sex offender registry public. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
Every day is a nightmare.
The pain is still raw for Andrew Cristillo's younger brother, the father of 3 killed in a head-on crash this summer. The driver of the other vehicle was already on police radar for having hit the Premier's SUV back in January. A family's loss exposed a gap in the law.
The individual going over 200 kilometers an hour when he hit Ford was back behind the wheel within 30 days. Had that not been the case, maybe my brother would be here today.
We're taking action.
A gap the government's trying to close, making good on a promise to the Cristillo family.
Including a 90-day license suspension and a 7-day vehicle impoundment when police have reasons to believe someone was driving dangerously.
Today, we're done gambling. and we're going to start seeing some real consequences.
The government's considering forcing impaired drivers who kill parents to pay child support, increasing fines for careless driving, and a lifetime ban for those convicted of dangerous driving causing death.
It's a bit rich coming from a government who just removed the ability of municipalities to have speed cameras in place.
This is a wide-ranging bill dubbed the Keeping Criminals Behind Bars Act. It includes making people pay up front for bail. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says that would create a two-tier justice system.
Our bail system doesn't work because our jails are crowded. And our jails are crowded because our justice system doesn't work.
Ontario will consult on making public parts of the sex offender registry.
But at the end of the day, we believe that our communities must be safe for everyone.
The Premier has said he's willing to reach for the notwithstanding clause to override the charter if opening up the registry is challenged in court. But the government isn't going there preemptively.
No, we're going to debate it in the legislature. We're going to make sure that we engage our stakeholders.
The Justice Bill also moves to ban what it calls invasive medical research on cats and dogs.
We protect veterinary sciences. We protect that invasive research that has to be done for both animal and human life-saving research, but we make sure that humane treatment is safeguarded.
With a promise to consult on banning medically unnecessary practices for cats and dogs like declawing and ear cropping. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Northern NDP MPPs are urging the Ontario government to fully implement all 79 recommendations from a recent coroner's inquest into the Constance Lake blastomycosis deaths from 4 years ago. In 2021, a blastomycosis outbreak in Constance Lake First Nation near Hearst claimed the lives of 5 people and infected 50 other community members. The NDP says while the deaths were classified as natural, jurors agreed that action is required to tackle environmental contamination.
It's about funding that the First Nation will need to clean up some of these sites, and we need to work all together to hopefully that we can reduce the risk, because really we don't really know where it comes from. But if these recommendations, these spots that were not named are identified as a potential risk, then we should seriously try to remove them.
The NDP also says this highlights the need to address systemic barriers to equitable Indigenous health. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the weather warnings we have in place, and that is what Rick was talking about a little earlier. Areas like Kapuskasing, Cochrane, Iroquois Falls, Timmins, you could see upwards of 30 to 60 centimeters by the time the storm is done. Let's move over to current conditions, and we're starting to see some snow already fly in Wawa and Chapleau, 2 in Elliott Lake, 6 in Parry Sound, 2 in North Bay, -1 in Timmins. We'll have more details coming up after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Okay, we'll take a look at the winter storm watch numbers coming up in just a couple of minutes. Warning watches issued by Environment Canada. Lots of snow coming up to the Timmins area, 30 to 60 centimeters, as of course predicted by Environment Canada. Here is the forecast radar now. As I said last night, more snow to the north and of course to the south. We've got more rain as that continues over the course of Wednesday and Thursday. Should end by about Thursday evening, and again, then we'll get into some flurry action. Here we go now with a 7-day forecast for Sudbury Nickel Belt. Rain tomorrow in the south, 5 to 10 millimeters. Then periods of snow on Thursday, chance of flurries Friday, cloud cover Saturday, chance of flurries Sunday, and sun and cloud Monday with a high of -6. Pretty well the same story in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma for tomorrow. Rain 10 millimeters, then snow by tomorrow evening. Thursday, flurries and squalls, and of course that's totally unpredictable with the blowing wind and the squalls coming off the lake. Friday, we've got, chance of flurries again Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and some of those temperatures bearable, but turning colder by the weekend and continuing into the early portion of next week. How about Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing? Snow tomorrow, 10 to 20 centimeters. Throw in another 15, possibly 20 by tomorrow evening. High of -1. Periods of snow on Thursday. Chance of flurries Friday. Saturday, some cloud cover. Sunday, chance of flurries. And Monday, some sun and cloud, but turning colder. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, rain tomorrow, 5 to 10 millimeters. Periods of snow Thursday, chance of flurries on Friday, cloud cover Saturday. Sunday, the chance of flurries, and again, some sun and cloud come Monday. But take a look at the evening lows. In some cases, -12, -9, -15, and -14 degrees. Now North Bay, West Nipissing, rain tomorrow, 5 to 10 millimeters. High of 5, some snow on Thursday, chance of flurries Friday. Saturday, some cloud cover. Sunday, chance of flurries. And Monday, we've got sun and cloud with a high of 7. Cooling off Sunday evening and even Monday night as well, -11 and -10. Well, Ian, it's coming. Lots of snow for the northeast, more so in the north. The sledders will love it. Back to you.
They certainly will. Thanks, Rick. Well, a frustrating anniversary today for tenants at an apartment building in Sudbury. It's been 1 year since the 5-floor building had a working elevator. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
I cry every single day. There's nothing to look forward to.
Over the last year, Shirley Fortin has only left her apartment twice. It's officially been that long since 285 Lord Street has had a working elevator after it was shut down for repairs in November 2024.
I've been so depressed, not being able to go outside and enjoy myself or to get out of here. The company can't come because most of my friends are elderly, so they can't come up the stairs. So basically, I've been living alone and on the phone every single day trying to find a solution to the problem that we have here, or to be accommodated, because management hasn't accommodated us whatsoever.
Fortin and many tenants in the building are either elderly or have a disability, making the daily climb up and down 5 flights of stairs impossible.
A lot of us are disabled, and a lot of us are unfortunately on assistance, but we're still having to pay for things like I get my groceries delivered through Instacart, for example, and that's an extra monthly fee. I get my laundry done because I can't bring it down 5 flights of stairs. People who are on assistance shouldn't be having to pay these extra fees just to get stuff done, just to be able to live with dignity.
The building is owned by Centerville Nonprofit Housing, who did not respond to our request for an interview, but it is run by Luxor Property Management. Gustafson says communication from management has been inconsistent.
We're being told like we don't deserve information. And we're told that, oh, we'll give you an update when we have information, but then we go months without hearing anything. So it's really frustrating.
While the property manager at Luxor declined our request for an interview, they say the elevator service company is collaborating with the TSSA in the hopes of restoring service by the end of this month. But for residents, that deadline is little comfort, believing this repair has already taken far too long. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Technical Standards and Safety Authority said in a written statement it inspected the elevator in September of this year and identified several safety issues to be addressed by the elevator contractor. Once the repairs are completed, the contractor is required to book a follow-up inspection with the TSSA, adding the authority has not yet been contacted by the contractor and that the elevator will remain out of service until the Safety Authority can confirm the repairs have been made. As the holiday season approaches, kitchens across the country will heat up with family feasts and baking sessions. This week is National Home Fire Safety Week, and the Canada Safety Council is taking the opportunity to remind Canadians that the most common cause of home fires isn't candles or Christmas trees, it's unattended cooking. Officials with fire services in the Sioux say Fire Prevention Week is hosted annually in October, but that the safety is something they focus on year-round.
The biggest thing is just keep safety in mind. So keep kids and pets out of the kitchen while you're cooking. Try and keep a 3-foot perimeter around the stove. Make sure you're staying in the kitchen. I know you can get distracted by guests and people wanting your attention, but your attention has to be on the cooking. Making sure that you have timers set and that you are have the proper things ready just in case something happens. Whether you have your lid handy, Even having a fire extinguisher readily available is also a good practice to do too.
According to Stats Canada, almost a third of fires from 2015 to 2021 were related to cooking. Well, Hydro One is hosting community open houses to update residents on the proposed Northeast Power Line project. The project is between the Hanmer Transformer Station in Greater Sudbury and Mississauga Station near Warncliffe, northeast of Thessalon. In the summer, Hydro One hosted similar open houses in the Soo for North Shore Link that will run from Warncliffe to Sault Ste. Marie. There will be 2 open houses tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Elliott Lake and Warncliffe. Thursday, the service provider will host one in Hanmer from 3 until 7.
The in-service date for this project is December of 2029. We would likely take a couple of years at least in construction, so through 27, 28 and 29, so actually 2.5 years through that construction life cycle. So through the vast majority of next year, what we're going to be doing is sharing through in the early parts the findings from our environmental report that we've been conducting over this period.
Officials say every person's input will be taken into consideration from the project and that if people are unable to attend an open house, they can visit Hydro One's website. Well, there's more news to come here on CTV News. For now, let's go to a live shot of downtown Timmins and City Hall this evening, where it looks like the snow is just starting to fly. I can see a few flakes there. This shot courtesy of the city, and it really is the calm before the storm. The city could see a total of upwards of 60 centimeters. We're watching this one closely. Stay with us. There's more to come. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. Only one lone game over in the NOJHL, a much-needed 2 points on the line for both teams. It was the Timmins Rock, however, that would pull out the win. Timmins would get on the board early and carry on that momentum, beating out the Espanola Paper Kings 6-2. A good night for Paper King Cameron Menard, by the way, with 2 goals. Not enough, however. Timmins pulls this one out. A special anniversary today in Sudbury for a vibrant space supporting people at every stage of life. CTV's Alana Everson reports.
Built in 2000 on Durham Street in the heart of downtown Sudbury, the Centre for Life is celebrating 25 years. The largest tenant in the building is the YMCA.
25 years ago, this was a groundbreaking concept to bring partners together under one roof. It has been resilient, it has been relevant to the community, and it will be for the future.
HSN also has an upper section of the building where it offers a referral-based cardiac and pulmonary program. The building is also home to many programs and activities for older adults at the Parkside Older Adult Center.
In one facility, you have all the health and wellness needs addressed for people as young, from infants all the way to seniors. So it's a great facility, and we're all doing our part to make the city a little bit better.
At the celebration, Sergeant Matt Hall of the Greater Sudbury Police received a YMCA Peace Medal Award.
This is a truly great award to win. I'm very humbled and honored.
He was recognized for building relationships downtown, fostering trust and collaboration, while addressing challenges with compassion and professionalism.
We have to develop those relationships and maintain those relationships. There's a lot of work that goes into that, in maintaining relationships. And then the team I have, the 8 officers and 2 clinicians from HSN, we go out every day in the downtown core.
Officials say the anniversary is a celebration of the Centre for Life's lasting impact on the community. And moving forward, it will be key in the revitalization and revival of downtown. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Afro Women and Youth Foundation began its 16 days of activism on gender-based violence. The international campaign kicked off today and aims to raise awareness and promote safety around gender-based violence. The next public event will be held on Zoom, where the organization will offer tools for emotional regulation, mental health resilience, and a self-care session for Sudbury youth.
We're creating awareness. We're letting people know that we're still here. Things are still happening. Women are still experiencing violence. Many of them are not speaking up, but we have some people who are becoming courageous and bold enough to seek help, but not many of them, and that's still problematic. We need to stop stigma so that people feel supported.
Today is also the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women Day, which the AWYF said is connected to their advocacy to increase awareness on the social issue of gender-based violence. And there were proclamations to mark the International Day across the north, including in the city of Elliott Lake. Mayor Andrew Wanan raising the purple flag outside of City Hall and his office earlier today. In his address, he urged all citizens to recognize the day by taking action. An important cause and wise words for us all. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.